Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being so flexible today. I know that this is not normally how we meet, but with everything that's going on in the world and just classic 2020, we're going to be flexible and we're going to watch our lesson today on my YouTube channel. My dog is joining us today. She's licking the chair. Not sure why, but I'm here. Here, I'll turn my face around. Hi, good morning. All right, let's get our lesson started. So today we're doing math and our checklist is be on time, ready to learn, and then draw an odd amount of sunflowers and an even amount of cats. So hopefully you guys have a chance to do this. We are going to be talking about even and odd numbers more today. We talked about that a little bit on Tuesday, but we're going to talk about it even more today. So I know I haven't given you guys a lot of time to draw those sunflowers and cats. Maybe you can come back to it later. Our agenda for today is to review expectations in Dojo, go over our learning targets, odds and evens, and then we're also going to talk about skip counting. So our class expectations, we talked about these the last few days. I'm not going to go into these a whole lot right now just because we're not actually meeting live, but I just wanted to show you guys and remind you of what we are expected to do and sound like and look like in our class. Rise. We've talked so much about these. I hope you guys are practicing these in your home, in your coursework, and in Blackboard because tomorrow we don't meet tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday. Oh my gosh, this week has flown by. So we don't meet tomorrow. So usually in class we would talk about, okay, which Rise box did you use this week? Did you use one in Blackboard, coursework, home, and then which one? Respecting others, inspire excellence, stay the course, or encourage growth. But since we're not meeting, we can't do that. All right, Dojo points. If you watch this video and then you fill out that form that I send you, you will get attendance points today. And then if you are following along with our video, I'm going to say that you are actively participating, helping, and respecting. I'll give you all these points today if you guys watch our video. So remember, if you're needing to go to the bathroom, bleeding, barfing, broken bone, you may step away. Okay, our learning targets today. I can determine if a number is odd. I can determine if a number is even. And then these are our level learning targets. That means that if you're at a 4, which is the top level, I can determine if a number is odd or even every time. A 3, I can determine if a number is odd or even most of the time. Or 2, I can find an odd or even number. 1, I can notice a number is odd or even. So some vocab, odd, even, hundreds chart, skip count. We already talked a lot about this on Tuesday, but we're just going to go into it even more today. So here's a little exercise for you guys. Is there an odd or even number of flowers in the box? Here's our flower box. And if we count these together, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 flowers. Remember, when we talk about an odd number, that means that it's not going to always have a pair. It's not always going to have a buddy. There's going to be one left out. So knowing what we know about odd numbers, what do you think? Is this odd or even? Here's some more pictures that we have. Look at these cute little bunnies, these Easter bunnies. Let's see, how many bunnies do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is there an odd or even number of bunnies in our box? Remember, if it's odd, there's a lonely one. If it's even, they have even pairs. So here's one pair, here's another pair, but does this guy have a pair? No! So that must mean that he is odd. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we know that if the number ends in a 5, it's an odd number. Is there an odd or even number of triangles? Okay, so let's look at our pairs. Pair, 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 pair. That means that our number is even. All right, and then this is another problem that we have. We're looking at chickens and eggs. Look at the empty egg carton below. The carton can hold 12 eggs, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 eggs all together. Luke wants to know if 12 is an even number or an odd number. Is 12 an even or an odd number? So we're not looking at this one, we're looking at this one. We know that there's 12. Are there any lonely ones, or does each one have a pair? Each one has a pair, and 12 ends in a 2. So we know that if a number ends in a 2, that means it's an even number. So if we have an egg carton full of eggs, we're going to look at this right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We know that 7 is an odd number. And there's a lonely guy right there. He doesn't have a pair. So we know that that is an odd number of eggs. Let's look at these egg cartons. We've got different amounts here, and it wants to tell us, is it even or odd? Even, odd, even, odd. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. So based on what you know about evens and odds, you would tell me, is it an even or an odd? This one doesn't have a pair, so that would be odd. This one doesn't have a pair, odd. But these ones, pair, pair. So it would be even. Here's our hundreds chart. We're going to talk a little bit about skip counting. So if we count by twos, when we count by twos, we're starting at our 2 and we're hopping 2 spots. That's what we're doing when we're counting by twos. So you would say 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. You're just going to skip one in between. So then how do we know? Are the numbers that I'm landing on odd or even? Let's look. 2, 4, 6. Are those odd or even, and how do you know? What if we're skip counting by threes? We're going to start at the 3 because we're skip counting by threes, and we go 3 spots. So 1, 2, 3. So 3 spots. 1, 2, 3. 3 spots. So 3, 6, 9. Are the numbers that we're landing on odd or even? Well, we know that 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, those are all odd numbers. So 3, 6, 9. Are we landing on odds and evens, or just odds or just evens? So is it possible to skip count by twos and get odd numbers? Think about that for a second. Think about when we were skip counting by twos, what numbers were we landing on? Now start at the 5. Skip counting by fives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 10, right? Start at 0. 5, 10, 15 would be the next one, because you do 10 plus 5 is 15. 15 plus 5, 20. 20 plus 5, 25. 25 plus 5, 30. So, what number are we landing on? Are we landing on odds or evens? Or both? What if we're skip counting by tens? So we're going to start at 10, 10. All we need to do in the hundred chart is just move down because there's 10 across each line. So you just do 10, 20, 30, 40. So what about these ones? Are we skip, like if we're starting on 10 and we skip count by tens 3 times, so 10, 20, 30. Let's try skip counting 6 times. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. What number are we landing on? Is that odd or even? There's definitely a pattern that we're seeing, and some of you who are really paying attention and focusing on our computer screen, you guys can see that pattern. The pattern in the numbers, okay, the numbers in the pattern are 8, 12, 16, 20. That's the pattern that we're looking at right now. What are the next 3 numbers in our pattern if we have 8, 12, 16, 20? Let's think about this. 8, 12, so you need to figure out how many you have in between each one. 8, 12, 16, 20. And then you have to think about the next 3 numbers. This might be a good one to think about with your learning coach and walk through with your learning coach. Alyssa was skip counting. She started on 2, so she's counting by twos, or she's not counting, or yes, no, she's not counting by twos, but she started on 2. She landed on 15. Could she be skip counting by twos? What do you think? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Oh, wait, 16 is past 15, so we can't land on 15. Could she be skip counting by twos? Well, no, if we skip count by twos, she didn't land on 15, so she can't be skip counting by twos, and that's our why. All right, and then these are more practicing of skip counting by 100. Which number comes next? 500, 600, 700. What do you guys think? If we have 500, 600, 700, looks like we're going up by 100 each time. So our next number has to go up by 100. What's 700 plus 100? Good. If you said 800, you're correct. So we're going to look at this one because we know that 800 and 900, that's adding 100 each time. We're skip counting by hundreds. Skip counting by 5, what numbers come next? We've got 35, 40, 45. What's going to come next? If we're going up by 5 each time, what's 45 plus 5? Good. If you said 50, awesome job. And then what's 50 plus 5? 55. Good. What's 55 plus 5? 60. Good. So you're going to go in here, and B is our answer. Okay, these are similar. Skip counting by 10s, skip counting by 5s. You're going to fill in the missing numbers. Skip counting by 10s, this one's really good. So we have 37, 47, 57. Do you guys see a pattern? Good. If you see the pattern, 37, 47, 57, we always have a 7 at the end, don't we? But this first number changes. Our 1s doesn't change, but our 10s does change. So what do you think is going to go over here? Good. If you said 67, you're absolutely right. 67, 77. Nice job. All right, how are you feeling? Maybe talk to your learning coach about how you're feeling about skip counting, odds and evens today. Odd and even, remember this was just a review. We've got all our even numbers. We already went over this, but just a little review. Odd numbers ending in these numbers, 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. All right, and we don't need to play this game because we're just going to keep this short and sweet today. But your learning coach and you can go over some practice with odds and evens later on. So vocab, we've talked about odd numbers, 1, 3, 5, and 7. Even numbers, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Our hundreds chart. And we talked about skip counting. All right, we're not going to do the breakout room because we don't have breakout rooms. All right, let's review our target. I can determine if a number is odd or even every time. If you feel like you're there, you can do it every single time. You're good. You're golden. 3, I can determine if a number is odd or even most of the time. That's okay if you're there. We're going to keep practicing with this, and you'll get practice today in your lesson, so it's okay if you're a 3, 2, or 1. If you're a 4, you're ahead of the game. A 2, I can find an odd or even number. A 1, I can notice a number is odd or even. So we're going to be working a lot with this. You'll have it in your lessons, so don't worry if you don't have it yet. And then that's it for today. Thanks so much for being flexible, you guys. We will meet next week.